The Charity Board Gamer is made possible by publishers like 25th Century Games. Take a look at the store in the link down below, and stay tuned for a little clip after the show. What is up, everybody? Hey, it's Chris from Charity Board Gamer. Of course, I've got these amazing, wonderful people here with me. Once again, just for anybody that's watching right now, we are going to be recording this live. We will not be interacting verbally to people that are chatting. However, we are going to be typing in the chat to anybody that's actually on here, mainly because we're actually recording these episodes like a podcast, and Justin has to edit it all. So for me to get off on a tangent, which usually happens, it's going to happen, but he gets to edit everything afterwards because he loves me. So yeah, folks, just so everybody knows, that's kind of what's going to be happening. So we appreciate you all. We thank you for being on here, and we'll get ready to kind of do that. But yeah, and of course, I have one of my favorite people on tonight. I can't wait to say the actual introduction that I typed up. So yeah, I actually typed something so I would read it, so I wouldn't just ramble on like I'm doing right now, folks. Okay. So
at least it's not a singing ramble. I don't know. Maybe next time you ramble, just sing the ramble, and then
I am singing. I'm in a store and I'm singing. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Oh, Chris.
There we go. All right. Here we go again. What are you doing highlighting anonymous hedgehog? Killing me. I like colors.
It's me.
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
Sorry.
5 seconds. 5-second pause. Hey, welcome to the Meeples of Joy podcast. This is a podcast where we talk about games, share some stories, interview some guests, and we have some fun. And of course, occasionally we'll talk about some nonprofits as well. I, of course, am Chris from the Charity Board Gamer, and to my, I don't know what direction, but
it doesn't matter direction. It's a podcast.
I know it's a podcast, but Justin gets to edit that later. So I'm going to go ahead and switch it over to the amazing and wonderful Chelsea.
Hi, my name is Chelsea, and you can find me at Chelka's Corner. And I'm going to pass it on to the one person that attempts to keep us in check.
Very true. I am Justin of Play Games Spread Joy. But it's not important who I am. It's important who our guest is tonight. Chris, let's introduce our guest.
All right. So our guest tonight is an encourager, moderator, live stream champion, member of the Tabletop Live Network, and makes the most amazingly delicious chocolate chip cookies. She is the fabulous Amanda Panda.
Hello, everyone. It's Amanda Panda, aka Panda Angel, Panda, the number 8 NGEL. Woo!
Best intro ever.
I like it. Very nice. So, of course, Amanda Panda and I have been friends, for maybe almost a couple years, or has it been a couple years?
It's probably been a couple years, ever since the pandemic, no? Yes?
Yeah, because I think it was late 2019, early 2020 that we were really interacting and stuff, and just have had a really great time to be able to just enjoy that. But real quick, what have you been playing lately, Amanda?
Oh dear, so much. So everything's on stream though. I rarely play anything off stream now, but just today I played Sagrada. I was looking at all the expansions. I've been really into button shy games. Like I played Rove, Circle the Wagon, Agropolis, so much fun. And Super Skill Pinball, ramp it up. The second edition, the second box to Super Skill Pinball. Oh my gosh. Have you played Super Skill Pinball? That is so super fun.
I haven't.
I don't think any of us have. Yeah.
Okay, if you like pinball and you like roll and write games, you must try Super Skill Pinball. And on the WizKids actual website, there's a demo, so you can print and play one of the free pinball boards, and they come with 4 different ones in the game. And all you do is need a pair of dice and 2 cubes to act as your pinball balls, and you can play a full game on your own and try it out before you buy it. But it really does feel like a pinball machine because you're literally the game comes with silver half balls that look like the little balls in the pinball machines, and you actually are pushing it like down because it's gravity, and then you have the little flippers that flip it all the way up, and then you get the bumpers where you go ding 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 all the way around, and yeah, it's so much fun. It's really fun.
Now, the one question I have to ask though, if it's a pinball machine, does it have a tilt?
Yes, it does. It has a nudge and a
awesome.
tilt. So you nudge it as in you change one of the die by how many numbers. Like if you want to turn a 1 to 6, you can do that. But the next die roll has to be the difference between the two die rolls have to be equal to or bigger than what you nudged. Otherwise, you tilt and you lose that round. And basically, your balls go into the machine, and then you have to, pull the thing back and shoot another ball up there. So yeah, it does have nudges and tilts. So if you nudge it, hit the machine too hard, it's going to basically stop your game, and then you lose that round.
Is there any point where like the balls, like I remember this one pinball game that I used to play when I was a kid, and like after a while you could actually store the balls like in these like little holes, and then at some point like it would all go wild and they would all start coming. You'd have to kind of hit them, and
there's multi-ball. So
multi-ball.
If
Okay.
you open, if you like complete a section, then you get a reward. And multi-ball means you're going to be playing 2 balls at once. One die for one ball, the other die for the other ball. And then both balls are going to be jumping around, and you're going to have to assign dice and where they go, and all the points are doubled, and it's really fun. But every pinball board or machine in the games is slightly different rules. Like there is a wrestling one where you can play team versus team. So if you have 4 players, then 2 players would be playing on 2 boards, but like helping each other against the other team of 2 players. Or you can play one person versus another person where you're just, you have 2 boards each. So it's kind of interesting. It's really cool.
Nice. What about you, Justin? What have you been playing? You and Chelsea have been playing games on Wednesday nights. What has been the game that you've all enjoyed recently?
Well, of course, yesterday was Wednesday, so we had game night. We played Era,
Yes.
Oh.
and that.
So wait, I gotta pull up the scores.
I was going to try to be nice and not talk about the score for you, but if you want to talk about it, sure.
I was having an off night, so I'm going to start from the lowest to the highest. My husband had 11. Our friend Joe had 26. I had 35, and then Justin had 65.
Yes, I can totally see that happen. Yeah, Justin's a shark.
His little board was just full, completely full. And we're like, what are we doing wrong? Like,
well, I was the only one that actually enclosed my little city and had a walled-in section completed. So that gave me a lot of extra points. And then
we were like,
then Chuck he kept getting the negative. He lost almost half his points from skulls. So that didn't help him too much.
Yeah.
Craziness.
Yeah. So we played that last night.
Chris, what have you been playing?
So of course, last week I played Dragon Prince with Daniel, and we played, Cartographers Heroes. That was a lot of fun. But last night we just had like a little game night. Me and the kids, since Beth is getting better. We spent time playing Quest for the Moonstones, which we're going to be playing that tonight with Elijah, and then playing Dice Throne. We played a 2v2 Dice Throne Season 1 re-rolled. I was the Moon Elf, Daniel was the Shadow Thief, so we were a team, and then Elijah was basically what he called Groot, which is a tree ant, and Abigail was the Pyromancer. So it got pretty crazy and down to the wire on Abigail's last move in defense to try to save herself. She knocked my character down to about 5 health. However, I pulled out the win with Daniel. And so tonight, Abigail is going to be playing Pyromancer again. I'm going to be playing Moon Elf again. And we're going to be playing against each other in a game of Dice Throne right after I play with Elijah Quest for the Moonstones, which should be a lot of fun. But that's going to be, that's something that we're going to be playing again because it's been a blast. But yeah.
That's so awesome.
Now, one of the things that I know that I wanted to talk about, and we had some questions that we had people ask, is Amanda Panda. What got you into the hobby?
I've always been a board gamer. Even though I'm an only child, I've always been a board gamer. I've always had some board games at home, playing with babysitters and stuff. I never really were too much into video games, but I had a Nintendo, I had a Game Boy. But yeah, ever since childhood, I always had some kind of board game at home, playing it alone or with friends and stuff like that. But then around 2012, I really got into modern board games. I think I was I think I kind of got into a like friendly local board game store, and then it was like so surprised. And then of course Will Wheaton had
Mhm.
his tabletop, which got a lot of people into modern board games. And then my first modern board game purchase was Agricola.
Mm-hmm.
No, it was Caverna. It was not Agricola, it was Caverna. So it was a big box for my first game. And then the Game House Cafe opened up, and right after I switched jobs, and I found a lovely friend named Ruby, and me and her would go to the game house every Saturday, and that was a lot of fun. It's nice to find, uh, someone that is just as, I guess, competitive as you, but on the same level, I guess, in that way. So it was good to have just the two of us. In the beginning, it was mainly just like, families coming in, a lot of, guys coming in, but eventually, more and more girls popping up, board game female only meetups were happening. And I was like, this is such an exciting time to be in the board game hobby. A lot of great changes are happening. And so I'm very excited to, be here. To find new people and a lot of awesome people over the internet during the pandemic was just such a highlight, and hopefully we get to meet each other more and more when things get safer and we can go to cons again.
Yeah, I would love for you to fly out here and just visit again, because I realized driving, if I were to drive out that way, it's a lot of money, and it also is a lot of hours.
Yep.
I think
Just a little bit.
Well, I was looking at like the kids are asking like, Daddy, how far is Yellowstone Park? And I'm like, I don't know. Let's figure out how long I've drive. 28 hours. I'm like, yeah, Daddy's not going to do that right now. Not right now, but maybe in the future. That'd be a lot of fun. But yeah, so the other question now, how did you get into moderating? Because that's one of the things I remember you doing a lot of at first. And then tell us about your journey into live streaming content.
Well, I think it was Ruel oh no, it was my friend Mary Lou, Miss Mary Lou Ryan, who is a board game, she is a board game friend. Like I met her through Watch It Played's live YouTube streams, and we were chatting in the chat, and then we realized we lived close to each other, and then we hung out at Game House, and we became good friends. She started on Twitch as a singer, so she would sing, and so I would moderate her Twitch streams, and then Ruel started up his board game Twitch streams, and I'm like, I already know how to moderate, so I'll moderate for you. And then so I became the moderator and started moderating for Ruel. And then eventually, which is wonderful, a lot of people started, streaming, like Paula Deming and Matt Jude and stuff like that. And then on my birthday, actually, it was about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks before my birthday, Matthew Jude had a stream where it was his birthday and people were giving him, money, basically, like just like throwing money at him. And I'm like, that's really cool. But I don't feel comfortable with people throwing money at me, as a female, as a person of color, it just didn't feel comfortable. So I was just like, okay, I think I can do this for charity. And Extra Life, of course, is an awesome charity that helps local children's hospitals with bills and stuff for care. And so I was like, okay, I'll do that. So I literally within 1 week, like researched everything. I was on my old iPad, laptop, and basically started streaming within a week of that idea. And I was like, so, oh my gosh, that was an 18-hour marathon stream. I raised over $2,000, which is amazing. But I was just like, it was such, I was like, Ecamm, StreamYard, whatever. I was like going through all this stuff. It was absolutely crazy. But I had so many awesome people on that marathon stream. It was so much fun. So I was like, oh, I'll continue doing this. I mean, I was like isolating. I don't have a bubble which includes board gamers. So I was like, online digital board games is the only way I can get games played. And so it was like a good balance for me, like the streaming, with friends, and then having it a weekly thing, which helped me as an extrovert keep in touch with people and not go crazy while we were isolating and stuff, and still get my board games played. And so that's what got me into streaming. And over a year later, I'm still doing it, and I'm still having so much fun and still meeting awesome new people.
Yeah, you were doing phenomenal. You've got over 800 followers now, I noticed, and you're just rocking it. You're part of, like I said, the Tabletop Live Network. You've got a live stream coming up real soon, helping out with the Givers and Gamers, which is awesome. Which I'm excited to see that. That's on, and for anybody that's listening, that's going to be on January 29th. It's going to be a 24-hour live stream for charity with the Tabletop Live Network, raising money for the Ronald McDonald House Charities of the Bluegrass. So if you are listening to this, or if you're watching our recorded live stream, please go take a look at that. And of course, in our show notes, we'll make it a point to also put a link to the charity where you can donate as well. So
yeah, definitely. I will not be part of that marathon, but Tabletop Live Network started out
you'll be on there. We know you'll be on there.
I'll be in the chat. I'll be on the chat.
Yeah,
but Tabletop Live Network started as a thought between me and Book of Nerds and Ruel, where we're like, oh, we don't want to stream over each other. And then Ruel took that thought, grew it with Nick Murphy, and then Nick and Mike and Ruel started Tabletop Live Network, which is absolutely incredible. Basically, it allows for streamers to rate into each other and not stream over each other, so you don't have to pick and choose, and you can support everybody over the weekend. And we have such a big, wonderful community that it's, most of us have to cycle in and out, so most of us will be on TLN like every other month, but we have a lot of good plans. We have a lot of fun, and it's just a wonderful, supportive, diverse community.
Yeah, it definitely has been a blessing, and it's really neat to see other live streamers, of course, doing charity work too, because it's encouraging to what people are doing. I especially I love seeing it when people like Benita or yourself, or Monique and just Ruel, and just being able to see that people are seeing that, okay, that need, there's a need out there, and we have a chance to help it. I'm going to let Chelsea ask a question. Justin ask some questions too, because I'm talking a lot.
It's okay. We're actively listening and taking it all in.
Yeah. I have some excess background noise right now. I'm trying to keep
me too.
Invading the podcast. But so we've already talked a little bit about streaming for charities and stuff. I know here we try to at least highlight one or two charities every time on the podcast. Amanda, I believe there's at least one that you'd forwarded to Chris that you wanted to talk about tonight. If you want to go ahead and talk about that now.
There's way too many charities out there that are absolutely amazing.
Fair enough.
And it's hard for me to choose because like my grandma has Alzheimer's. So on my birthday, I chose the Alzheimer's Association. My mom went through breast cancer treatment. Luckily it was stage 1 and she's fine. But there's that society. There's so many amazing charities like Extra Life, but I decided instead of the Humane Society, which I think you've already talked about, I decided on Villalobos, which is a pit bull rescue. And just like a lot of, racial tensions within humans, there's a loss also inequality when a certain type of animal or a certain breed of animal is labeled as dangerous. And it's, it's only certain, if that dog is trained a certain way, then they're dangerous, but not all pit bulls are dangerous. But it's sad that when a pit bull comes to a shelter, is most likely put down and never given the chance to show whether or not it's dangerous or not. Also, shelters are they're like jail, like these animals coming from freedom of the streets or from a loving home and going into jail. They're not going to be acting properly, so it's really good what Tia Torres has done to help raise awareness about the plight of pit bulls around in the US. She has a rescue that she started in California and then moved to New Orleans. And then now, she's a big part of the New Orleans scene. When I visited, I had to visit their little store and, buy a bag and stuff. It's just really cool. You can take a tour. It's a nonprofit rescue where they never put any of the animals down. So lifelong part of Villalobos. If someone adopts a dog and then later cannot take care of the dog, Villalobos will take the dog back, which is absolutely incredible. And she's been doing an amazing job. And you can watch some of her story on Animal Planet, which is where I found her. But I didn't realize that she started as a wolf rescue in California. So I was like, oh, this is someone that, is very inspiring, that she took something that was close to her heart. And she also not only helps out pit bulls, she helps out parolees. The show is called Pitbulls and Parolees because she also gives second chances to people who are stigmatized. If you are a parolee, if you've gone to jail or, have that on your record, you have a less chance of getting a job. You have less chance of getting equal pay. And then a lot of law enforcement focuses on minorities or African Americans to a greater extent, and so that's even worse, right? So she helps out both sides, the human and the animals, and they help each other because a parolee, working with animals, they have a different view, and a lot of animals brings out the nurturing side, and then they become better listeners, better nurturers, more empathetic to all around after working with the pit bulls. Yeah, so I think it's a great organization.
Yeah, that's awesome. And for those who are listening, the website is VRC, C as in Chris, pitbull.com. So take a look at that. They've got a donate link where you can immediately click on it, make a donation. You can even adopt a dog on there. And these dogs are just adorable. And
they're not just pit bulls anymore. Also, if you do if you do Amazon Smile, like if you do Amazon Smile, you can donate like a percentage of your purchases through Amazon to charities. And I've chosen Villalobos. It doesn't cost you anything extra. They're just taking a whatever percentage of your purchase and then automatically paying the charity of your choice. So if you do have Amazon in any form, sign up for Amazon Smile, SMILE, and make sure that all your purchases part of it will go to charity of your choice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and Amazon Smile delivers it says quarterly, so they get like a lump sum payment of everybody who's like selected that charity. And they'll get a lump sum payment, and like you'll get a notification on the app, and it'll say, you contributed this much to this charity that you've chosen.
And it's easy for you because all you're doing is doing your normal purchasing, and it doesn't take anything extra out of your pockets.
Mm-hmm. When you visited, what was the most impactful thing that you walked away with from being there?
I didn't get to visit the actual facilities. That's
okay.
Otherwise, okay. I still really wanted to, but it was kind of like in a between time, I think. I don't know. It was like I think it was right before the pandemic. Yeah, it was right before the pandemic. And I was celebrating a friend's birthday. So I didn't really have time to go. But they were at least like in an in-between state where they weren't allowing just walk-ins. But I definitely want to visit their facilities because they have like 3 satellite locations now. And it's just absolutely incredible what they're doing. And they're just spreading the love. And, anytime like a hurricane or anytime there's flooding, they are there, helping people with their animals, not just, making sure their own animals are safe. So they are definitely a big part of the community. And I do hope that I can, go and visit one time when it's safer to travel, I should say.
You'll make it there.
Yes, it's on my bucket list for sure.
Well, speaking of it being safe to travel or not, we've done a lot of course, streaming of gamings and playing games online. So I don't know if Chris warned you about it, but part of what we do with this podcast is we do essentially a surprise top 5 list, where the 3 of us have come up with the top 5 from this list that we've already chosen, but you get to think on the fly and come up with your top 5 or top 5.
I already yelled at Chris via Discord, like, what the hell is this? Dang it,
So-
Chris, how dare you? How
So
rude.
tonight's top 5 is pretty easy.
Okay.
It's basically your top 5 or favorite games played while streaming or playing them online. So it's pretty broad. It's not, shouldn't be too hard. But
you say that, but like,
but knowing how many games you've probably
I've
played online, I'm
streamed a
sure it's a
lot
lot
of
harder for
games.
you than us. Kelsey was like, wait, I didn't stream these. What did I play online? But it's like,
So I have a
play
huge
everything online, it
disclaimer.
seems.
I have a huge disclaimer. Half of mine, they're not streamed. They're all connected to, like, I played online when I was making my list. I was like, oh, it's a specific time and the story that goes with it. And it's only 2 that I didn't necessarily stream. But then I was like, I'm not changing it.
Well, and that we understand that, Chelsea, because you have not actually been on stream as much as the rest of
Yes.
us, and so that's why we kind of.
She's been on stream just in a moderating role.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
not
She's
playing.
been
Crazy
She's been
amount.
helping out a
Yeah.
lot behind the scenes and not necessarily playing the games. And so, since she said that they were the online games, so we broadened the category enough to at least be inclusive of all everything she's been able to play with us in some capacity. But yeah, so it's basically stream/online games are top 5.
Okay.
So we'll give you a chance to think about that. We'll kind of hit off the first ones, and then it'll bounce back to you, see if you're ready for it or not. If you don't feel ready at all, you don't have to join in. You can just be like, too many good ones, I can't choose.
What? No, she has
We-
to.
we-
she
no,
has
we
to after
want-
talking
we
trash on
want-
Discord.
We want you to join. We would love you to, but we won't force it, of course. Chris, were there any other charity stuff you want to talk about tonight?
Yeah, our charity that we are supporting throughout the month is the Brown House. The Brown House vision is striving to be a place in the West Circle community where those historically denied by society can find belonging, ways to provide for their family, and the personal dignity found in the God who called us into being. They actually help out with tutoring, they help out with counseling, they help out with food insecurity, all in the Northport, Alabama area. So check that out. That's brownhousecommunity.org. brownhousecommunity.org.
Awesome. So now we'll kick off our top 5 list. Chelsea, I'm going to throw it to you, and you can talk about whichever the top of your 5 you want to start with. I don't know if you sent them in order or not. I never assumed they're in order. So wherever you want to start, and we'll go from there.
So I'm gonna start with Bank Heist from Lonely Hero Games. I'm not a big social deduction game type of person. Like, I'll play them with the right group, and I have fun, but they're not always for me. But this one I really enjoyed. I played online and I immediately bought copies to give out for Christmas presents, bought a copy for us to play at Christmas. And my favorite part was when Chris, was it the gag order, Chris? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
It's called Hush Money.
Hush money, whatever. Hush money. And we're on stream. And I'm not allowed
Chris's
to talk.
stream. This is
Chris's
Chris's stream.
And I'm not allowed to talk. So I had to type everything through Zoom and somebody else had to read it. And then I was able to give it back and hand it to Chris.
Yeah, and then we made it so Chris couldn't talk on his own stream.
Yeah.
On my own live stream.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes, I've definitely enjoyed that one.
Yeah.
Played it a lot while at Chris's house too.
Mhm.
But the more social deduction style game that I actually chose, because I have one on my list, is Blood on the Clock Tower from the Pandemonium Institute. That was a ton of fun. There's, I believe, Amanda, you're on there with us playing, a ton of other great streamers and creators. But unknowingly, they put me and Chris on the same team, on the evil team, and it went haywire in a good way for us. And we had a lot of fun kind of messing with people in that one.
That was I was on that game. I was like, they couldn't have put those two together. Like, what the hell? So much evil, so much.
Yeah. Chris, I don't think you actually put a social deduction game on your list, which I was surprised because you always talk about Bank Heist.
I do.
Yeah.
I talk about Bank Heist. I talk about Blood on the Clock Tower. I talk about Werewolf. Surprisingly enough, the 5 that I chose were just ones that had some good memories to them. One would be Unmatched. We've played that one quite a bit. That's from Restoration Games. If anybody has had a chance to ever play Star Wars Epic Duels, it's a real implementation of that. And it is so much fun, like all the different characters that you can pick. So we did, I think we live streamed this one where Elijah was the Raptors.
Mhm.
Daniel, I don't remember what Daniel was. I think he was Bigfoot. I was Buffy the Vampire Slayer because, you know, I love Buffy. And I think you were, who were you? Were you Jekyll and Hyde?
No, that was not the game I went Jekyll and Hyde. That was the
Okay.
one I went as Beowulf,
Beowulf.
I believe.
So this was a ridiculously close game. It was a very close game. Now Elijah, with his last breath, took me down to about 9 health, I think, from a high. I think it was, he knocked me down about 11 points with one turn.
Yeah, it was. I thought it was more than that, but yeah, he did a lot of damage in one turn before he went out.
Towards the end, I could have won. But some jerk. Hold on. I love you. You're like a brother to me. But some jerk psyched me out into not playing the cards that I wanted to play. And it was a ridiculous defeat that I just was like, I think the words out of my mouth when I lose certain games where I'm just like, I think the words were, you suck. You suck.
It was one of those games you could have won, but
yeah,
you were scared that I still had a certain card.
You played mind games.
You decided. Yeah.
Are you keeping it PG-13? Because I shouted you out on my stream, and some of those clips were not PG-13, sir. I had to literally mute you.
I don't remember.
What the hell?
No, I don't think I cursed or did anything foul during that stream. I had my boys. No.
Okay, maybe not that stream, but it was not that stream. But I have clips. There's clips of you not being PG-13 on your stream.
I have to watch those. I have to watch those clips.
I have an idea of what game it could have been.
Yeah,
there's
right?
multiple D&D streams where the innuendos fly.
Oh, the innuendo
It
is like
was
crazy.
not innuendo.
No, it could be the one with the priest. But that's it. I don't know.
Chelsea's face is just like, huh?
We played.
What?
Now, hold on.
Cult of the Deep.
No, Cult of Deep was good, but we played Wing It one time during one of our live streams, and that got a little.
Oh,
that got a little. Yeah. I still think now
I remember.
Yeah. I still think I should have won.
Out.
I think it's time to move on.
Wow.
To
okay.
Amanda.
Yeah. Next one.
Amanda.
Yes.
And Amanda, I will give you the prize for the one fastest ready with a list once we get them on here and tell them about it. Like most people are like, oh, I can't think of my next one, and like give them the time. You have already sent us your top 5 somehow. So I'm just gonna let you go with whichever one you want because you're the most prepared. You're probably more prepared than we are.
I have to say that any roll and write is awesome to play with a streamer. So I think there's way too many roll and writes that I've played with on stream, with the chat, or in the chat with a streamer. So I'm gonna just say those are all off my list because they're all amazing. It's always fun. So that's the caveat, right? So I'll start with the earliest one, Takenoko. Takenoko is such a good game. There's a great implementation on BGA. I've
Mhm.
played it on my stream. I've played it online. I've played it it's one of my favorite games, right? Of course, because there's pandas. But BGA also has the first edition rules and the second edition rules on there, which is absolutely amazing. But what brought it to mind is on my very first stream, that 18-hour marathon, Victor Ortiz came at the end and then beat me twice at my favorite game on my birthday. And I was like,
Ooh.
what? He's still a good friend. We still play games together. But I was just like, mind like blown. I was like, this is not happening. What the hell, guys?
That's when you know it's a true friend, that
Yeah.
they don't just let you win on your birthday. Like you
Yeah.
have to
No,
earn
he
it.
will never let me just win anything anywhere. But yeah. So that was like that was a good I don't know if it's a good memory or not, but that that is one of my favorite games to play online with or on my stream. Yeah.
Mhm.
What about
Chris, we'll throw it back to you because I see one that you've streamed multiple times, including during some of the longer streams, kind of like Amanda was just talking about doing one for longer streams.
Mhm.
It looks like you have cartographers on there.
Yeah, Cartographers, and we did Cartographers Heroes a lot last year before it came out, and that was one of those ones that we really enjoyed playing. Of course, we all had coloring pencils for it. Last week we did it with the real pencils, and my son's like, why aren't we doing color pencils? Like, because my eyes are bad right now. So
Once you go color, you can't go back.
yeah, and don't get me wrong, coloring, I mean, it's so good, but you have to have them nice and sharp. And the yellow is the one that's the hardest to really see very well. So you kind of have to go over it with a little bit of a pencil when you're
Well,
doing
you
that
could use highlighters. I think highlighters would be great.
Or have you seen online on Etsy someone sells stamps that have the shape and by the ink pad?
Stamps are that looks so cool. But what are you gonna do if like you have to destroy something or other, because now that these maps
stretch it out.
Yeah, well, okay.
Black marker.
Okay.
Black,
just a little Sharpie.
Oh, black
See,
marker. It's double-sided. Why would you do that with a black marker?
I laminate mine, so I have like
there's
dry erase markers that are
Oh yeah,
colored.
that works well too.
So that's what I do for mine.
Yeah, that's been the one. That's been the one right there.
I just played a game with Jess CC_CCG, and what I did was I did a lighter color and I colored it in, and then with the darker version of the color, I drew in all the trees. I drew in nice castles and stuff. That's always fun. That is always fun.
It's always fun to get artsy with that.
Yeah, it's fun to see all the artsy stuff, but to do that while being artsy in a live stream, I could picture that going to be a very long live stream. Be like, all right, let me go ahead and paint these happy trees and some clouds up here.
In that soothing voice.
That's right.
Well,
all right.
Well, talking about different voices, one game that we've streamed a lot, and Chris, you've done a lot of voices during. Arch Ravels from XYZ Games. That almost every time we played that, random voices came out, random accents for whatever reason. Like, the game is great, don't get me wrong, but like my experience with playing with y'all and just the fun we had within the game and outside the game, just talking and chatting during the game, has been one of the best streaming experiences this past year.
I definitely need to upgrade. I need to get little tiny styrofoam balls, circle it with string or yarn, and make those instead of the little tokens that you get, and then you'll have a little ball of a yarn ball full of yarn. That's what I need to do.
All I have to say is, Anakin, I have the higher ground. Oh,
why?
Well, talking about yarn, this is the best segue I got right now. Chelsea, you have one about sheep.
Yes, so sheepy time, which I know you guys played on Twitch. I didn't get to join. I did watch you guys that day, but I didn't get to join you. I actually played it. It was some digital convention. Can't remember which one. And usually when you play with strangers, most of the time they tend to be very quiet, but it was just another player and myself and the person from AEG teaching us the game. And it was so nice just talking, and like she had all these combos and she like killed me. She definitely won, but it was so much fun just to interact that like almost like I almost knew her. That's why it's on there, because we didn't stream it, but it was still digital. It was a digital con, and I just had so much fun playing with a complete random person. So it almost felt like I was back at an actual con.
AEG has a lot of awesome people working for them.
So did you play that as a 2-player, or did you play that with whoever's teaching?
2 players. So it was just
Okay.
her and I, yeah. And he was like, wow, you killing this.
Well, speaking of, I guess, a 2-player game, Amanda, it looks like you have a 2-player game on your list.
Yes, Seven Wonders Duel. So Jess underscore CCG, which is another board game Twitch streamer, is in Ross More Games Please's Discord, and she has set up these monthly tournaments. So last month it was Seven Wonders Duel. We had about 10 people, and we just played it on BGA against each other. So you played it like 10 times, and I just love Seven Wonders Duel on BGA. It's such a clean implementation, quick to pick up, quick to play. It was a lot of fun, and yeah, I don't know. I played it on stream. I've streamed it before, but that tournament just like, oh, you're getting into it, and the first time you play after not playing for a while, you forget about the scientific symbols, or you forget about military, but playing in a tournament, you just get better and better, and you remember combos, and you remember, oh yeah, there's this card in the deck and stuff, and it was just so much fun playing, and it was set up by a very, very wonderful person in a very awesome Discord.
Yeah, Jess is amazing. Jess is just wonderful person. I loved working with her at PAX U this year, so that was a joy.
In the Haba booth, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I've had a chance to actually be on stream with her, and it was great. And I know something she, I believe, streams a lot on is the Sovranti game app. And so one of the games on my list is actually the Sushi Go Party with the golf rules that is on Sovranti. But of course, Sushi Go Party is from Game Right, but with Sovranti getting the license to be able to have that on there, that was a great way to stream it. And then switching it up with the golf rules, where you have to kind of think different than the typical rules, and kind of, nope, I actually don't want that typically high scoring combo, and try to go opposite. So it definitely made for a unique experience, kind of almost leveled the playing field when we were playing. So that was at least enjoyable for me. I don't know how much Chris enjoyed it. I can't remember, but I know he was there, and we always have fun streaming together and having.
I got the highest score. That's good.
Oh,
right?
did you? Okay. No,
Yeah.
I can't remember. I can't remember if you got the high or the low.
There was so much smack talk during that game.
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
Well, we're gonna do it again, right? With the Sovereignty Olympics in February, which I'm joining.
We're doing it again.
We're gonna play it again. I mean, I love, it was my first time playing the golf rules was on the Sovereignty Olympics. I think it was last year, but I stepped in for, I think, Monique Game Freaky Girl, and it was a lot of fun. I never played the golf rules before, and that was crazy and fun. I especially love the team version, where you're playing with someone across the table from you.
Mm-hmm.
You can't talk really about what you have, but you have to like try to balance each other out, and it's really cool.
So talking about some other games that have involved smack talk, Chelsea, you, I believe, chose Curmudgeon.
Yes.
That's definitely smack talk to the extreme.
So it's not necessarily the game.
Oh,
It was one of the funniest like gaming experience that I've ever had. I have never been insulted in that manner, and immediately, without stopping to breathe, got an I'm sorry. It was hilarious. Like, I was like, I can't even stop laughing because you're having such a hard time insulting me. You apologize. And everybody was just laughing. So it was just the experience as a whole was it was just very, very fun to just hang out. And it, again, didn't feel like it was a stream. It felt like you were hanging out with your friends playing a game. So it's one of my favorite times streaming was that game.
Yeah, that was a wild one. Grant Lyon and his friend definitely made an amazing game. One that I highly recommend. And for anybody that has not played Curmudgeon, that's where, we probably could have had a mature audiences filter before we started streaming, because I didn't know it was going to get there, but it got there. And it got there very quick.
Yep.
Very, very quick.
Oh, that's probably the stream that I got the clip from.
Yeah,
because I was like, what did Chris just say to her? Like, oh, dang. And I was like, oh, wait, no, there's more to this? Oh, no, mute.
It was so brutal. I felt
after dark. I was like, people are like in my chat, like, is this a Panda After Dark stream? I'm like, no, it's not even my stream that's saying this.
Yeah,
it's a little bit rough, real quick.
Yeah, we some of those games I'm not used to. Like I try to keep things as PG as can be, but like we had definitely a PG-13 game there, and it got a little wild. So, oh yeah. That was crazy.
So, Chris, on your list, you have a game that's not quite PG-13, but it definitely has some close relations to innuendos with Cinder. You want to talk about that?
Oh my gosh. So Cinder is one of those ones where Cinder is a game where it has to be the players. It's all about the players around the table. And the players that I had that night were Ken Franklin,
oh my God,
Justin with a horrible love life, and then I had Daniel and Allison from Kidsplaining as Kevin, the player unicorn. Needless to say, Kevin was a very good player, and it was by far one of the most ridiculous games I've ever played. I've played it since with my wife, and she had a good laugh. And it's so interesting to be able to read the different like locations and to try to do it in like a sultry voice, like you're reading through somebody's Tinder profile, you know. But it was just one of those wild games. Smirk and Dagger, Smirk and Laughter, as they also are known as, just continues to make interesting and unique games. And Cinder was definitely one of those. So Cinder.
I really enjoyed that one. It's really cool. It's a little like it's almost a light RPG, where it's like Tinder but with dragons, and you're swiping left and swipe right. I played it solo on my stream. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, Amanda, I don't think any of the remaining games on your list are anywhere near as risque as these games.
Oh my gosh, not at all. But I will talk about this one. Dominion, playing Dominion online at the website dominion.games. So good. Makes it quick, makes it easy. It's inexpensive if you want expansions. But what came to mind was I played a game with Paula Deming and Victor Ortiz on my stream, and we were coming to the end. We played a full game, and they were like, let's do a speed Dominion. No dome Dominion, completely speed, where we cannot think about what we're buying unless it's during other people's turn. And it was chaos, and it was so fun. And poor Paula was like, like she was like freezing up. It was like one of the best streams. It was so much fun. I always now anytime like I play a lighter version of a game, or anytime I play Dominion, I'm like, do you want to play Speed Dominion? Because it's I love deck building. It's a fun deck builder. But on the online implementation just makes it so quick, so easy. And it, calculates scores for you and stuff like that. So it was a lot of fun playing Dominion with Paula and Victor, and Speed Dominion's even more fun because you just, in the beginning, you read all the cards and then you don't think, you're just going by instinct.
I definitely need to check that out, because like that's the hardest thing about Dominion is like the setup, because it's so many different decks of cards. But if like, especially playing games online, like the setup is kind of just done for you and you can just get into the gaming. It's so great. So where did you say you were playing that again?
The Dominion.games, GAMES.
Okay.
You can, I mean, I love it that you can choose what expansions you add to it. You can even choose what cards you never want to see in a game. You can choose cards that you absolutely love, and then you can either choose the individual like decks that you want in your specific game, or you can choose some of the decks, and then the game will randomize the other decks.
Okay.
So it's like it's a balance of whatever you want, and there's no setup because you're just clicking, you know, what you want. There's no, you know, it shuffles for you. There's no, you know, where you have to separate all the cards after you're done with your decks and stuff. So the cleanup setup is all very, very quick, and it's very easy. You can replay the same cards or the same board that you want, or you can go out, start a new table. They have tournaments and stuff. It's great.
Sounds wonderful. Definitely need to check that out. Now, the next one on my list, it feels like the exact opposite of that fast setup, easy because we played it on the tabletop. It was me and Chris together. It was Kingdom Rush Elemental Uprising from Lucky Duck Games. That was so much chaos wrapped up into 1 hour of
Not me,
a game.
folks. Not me. It was all Justin on the chaos.
Who knew what the result was going to be, because it was like Chris was like, I'm just going to do this without thinking about it. I'm like, okay, what can I do to help this situation and not make it worse? But yeah, and then I believe was he in the chat with us or what? Because I don't think he was actually in the Zoom or anything.
Yeah, we were on Zoom watching you guys play. And if that whole hour was just a representation of how well you guys mesh and like how your friendship is, because Chris was just like gone, and then Justin be like, okay, well, what can I do that will help us and like complement what Chris is doing? And they made it work.
It's a co-op. It's basically what's the best way to describe it? It's kind of like invaders coming down the path.
Tower defense.
Tower defense. That's the right word for it. And so it's co-op.
I feel so bad for you, Justin, in a co-op game where Chris is not doing, like, his brain's nowhere. He's just doing chaos, and you just have to mitigate his chaos. Like,
we have won so many cooperative games, so
we don't know how we win co-op so often.
We win co-ops, and we play
great. We're so opposite.
We also are great demons. Remember that, Amanda Panda.
I know. I'm sus of you every single time we're gonna play any type of like social deduction game.
Yeah, and any kind of co-op or social deduction, we're in the same game and we're on the same team. Somehow we blow it out of the water. Except the first time we played Forbidden Desert together. We messed up the first time, and so we played again off stream. But Chelsea, I believe that game was on your list.
Yes, that one we actually played, and we tried so hard. And Matt played with us, and he doesn't play very often with us, so it was so much fun to actually play with him that we lost, and we're like, okay, well, when can we play again to see if we can beat it? And it was just so much fun. So we tried a second time, and I don't remember, did we win? No, we lost. No,
I feel like we won, but just barely. Like the second time off stream, like we were like, okay, we're gonna do this again where we can win, but we just had to find a random time off stream.
Yeah, off stream. But just it was so much fun that even though we lost, we immediately wanted to like play again and try to beat it. So it was just as much time, and everybody's like, okay, well, what can we do? What can we do? And then we're like, oh, damn, we lost. We were so excited.
It was so rough. We were so close to. That was a wild game.
It's a great game though, on and off. Like, I think there's a BGA implementation, but it's a great game to have in your collection as well.
Oh, we were playing it through Sovranti, and everything is scripted, and it was so good.
So good.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, idiot proofed it for me is really what it did. So,
is there another idiot proof game on your list, Chris?
Well, I don't know if there's another.
Well, there's a digital version of one of the games that definitely makes the
I want to talk about that one last. So I want to talk about that one last. I'm going to bring up one though that has been a blast whenever we have guests on. When we were doing basically what I was calling after the show, because I didn't have any real names for titles, where we just invited people over after doing interviews. we were playing Blank Slate from the op.
Mhm.
And it was just one of those games where it's like we have way too much fun. Now, of course, we don't go to the extremes of what I've seen in some of the other streams, like After Dark. And
No, what did that? No, me?
no,
No,
really?
that's
No.
Benita,
No.
right? It was
Oh, Benita too,
Totally
yeah.
Benita.
Totally Benita. Yeah. I think I don't remember. Did I see twerking at one point during one of those streams? What was that?
What?
No,
No, that was not a Blank Slate stream. No.
that wasn't a Blank Slate stream. I don't remember what stream that was. It was.
You notice she's not denying it. Though.
I know. She's not
Just
at all.
clarifying.
It could
Yeah.
have happened. I don't remember, but it
I
wasn't.
think-
It wasn't.
I think I remember
Uh,
Sass Queen teaching everybody how to twerk that night.
Mhm,
That's
mhm.
the one thing I remember.
It's a definite highlight. So anytime if you come in early to one of my streams, you're gonna see some clips of highlights of my previous streams, and that twerking one where she teaches us all how to twerk is definitely one of the highlights in that clip. But yeah, well, yeah, that's true. Was Roses my stream? Oh dear, Tom Posh with Roses. No, that was Game Freak Geek Girl stream. Now I'm totally confused, y'all. Totally confused.
Who knows?
I don't know. Who knows? What's your next one, Amanda Panda?
I don't talk about Boba Mahjong. So the reason why I talk about this is because one, I play it digitally because he has it on Tabletopia. It's currently on Kickstarter. Two, Tate Wu is just an amazing person, wonderful designer. But three, I've streamed this game in like 3 or 4 different iterations. Like in the very beginning, I streamed it, and then he changed some rules, and then I streamed again, and then now it's like a totally different new art and new rules, and I just streamed it again with him and then with Jess, and I'm going to be streaming it again tomorrow with Aaron from Game Enthuse, just hyping up the Kickstarter and helping Tate, because he's a one-man shop, y'all. It's only him, and he's trying to do everything with a small publishing company called Sunrise Tornado. But yeah, Boba Mahjong is such a fun 2-player game. It has that rummy where it's like you do a straight or a 3-card straight or a 3 of a kind, and then you're saving cards in order to score big at the end. And it's very cute artwork, and it's a wonderful little card game. I really enjoy it, and I hope everyone will check out the Kickstarter and help Tate out. But yeah, that's been fun to stream. I love playtesting just for that whole thing where, you're seeing how the designer and the people that actually help the designer change stuff with their games and how it progresses and stuff like that. But that also means that when I play a game, I'm remembering rules from different iterations,
Mhm.
and I'm like, well, oops.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the hard thing with playtesting a game. Is like then you actually get the legit copy, and you're like, I don't remember it playing like this.
Yeah. Or like, I remember this rule and I wish I could implement it. So sometimes I'll be like, I'm gonna house rule that rule from the very beginning because I really loved it and it was a lot of fun. But yeah.
I definitely agree. Play testing and trying out new things before they come to market is a great way to get to know how the design process works and see kind of behind the curtain in a sense of the game industry, of everything we love. But along that same line, the last game on my list is actually D&D. We've been playing on Tuesday nights the Daubers Seeds of Decay system with Spider Games, and he has kind of let me behind the curtain a little bit more than the rest of the players, and that I'm helping doing a little bit of the editing and making sure some of the stuff is balanced before he brings it onto the stream. So seeing behind the curtain that way, and then getting to play with the group, like we have so many amazing people playing. Of course, Chris and Chelsea, we have to keep you in line while playing, but having
Yes.
JoJo and Jade with us as well playing, and then Daryl is just a great DM in general. Just it's been one of the highlights of this past year, getting to play almost every week as we can.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And then, no, Chris, we'll save yours. We'll go to Chelsea first.
Okay. So mine is Red Rising Stonemaier Games. We had off-stream game scheduled, and there was a few people, and I read the rules, and I was like, you know what? I'm exhausted. I am done. I'll join. I'll say hi. and I'll bounce. And when I joined, they were like, no, play, come on, play. And I was like, okay, fine, I'll stay. I was like, look, I'm exhausted. It's like 10 o'clock at night. And I'm ready for bed. But I'm so happy I ended up staying, because even though I was tired and I was like, I read the rules, nothing, like I didn't absorb anything. But it was just fun to hang out and play. And I'm like, oh, I've been doing this wrong this whole time. Oops. And just hanging out with friends. So I'm very like happy that I stayed, because it's just those little reminders that like when life gets hectic, you do have to make time for your friends and connect with people, and not just like cave in and go to bed, because I ended up being a lot happier, even though I was exhausted.
Yeah.
So.
And then from the same company, Chris, your last game.
I want to remind people that Amanda Panda is this wonderful and loving person. But when you play a game of Wingspan against Amanda Panda, she is a brutal pain in the rear. And that no, it's nothing's your fault with that game, is it? But Wingspan Digital, one of the few games that I will say is possibly better than the physical copy itself, is the one game that I had so much fun streaming over the past year, especially when I got chances to play against Amanda Panda, and playing with of course Chelsea and Justin and other friends. It is one game that if somebody asks me to play and I am worn out and exhausted, I have it now on my Switch, I have it now on my Android, I have it now on Steam. I have it on all 3 iterations, because it's just that good of a game. The tutorial was fabulous. The bird sounds are wonderful. And the music, oh my gosh, the music is to die for. But Amanda Panda is a panda shark, because she will attack, she will bite down hard, and she will not let go.
There's no attacking in Wingspan.
Whatever. There's more smack talk in a game of Wingspan than there probably is in a game of curmudgeon. So
that's such an exaggeration, y'all.
For those
with
listening,
Amanda, it's just every game is smack talk.
That's true.
Yeah, don't believe her denials,
especially if you take the blue color.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's the only time I can't play blue is when Amanda joins us.
So if you do play Amanda Panda, automatically pick blue to start, just to mess with her.
That throws her off.
Chris does that all the time. You're doing it on purpose. Now I know.
What? I would never do anything like that with you. But Wingspan, the digital version, if you haven't bought it yet, just buy it. It's better than buying. Honestly, I would recommend buying that over buying a copy of Wingspan, just because cost-wise, it makes more sense. And it is by far a great game. And if you like the digital version, then go get the physical copy, so that way you can introduce other people into the hobby. But truthfully, I will play the digital, and I think I've played the digital 100 times more than I've played the physical copy of the game.
I'll be honest, I have the physical version and the digital. I have not played the physical version yet that I own. I've only played the digital, just because it's so easy to open up and play, and you don't have to worry about the extra setup. And of course, like you talked about, the music is amazing. All the little extra details, like you can have it set so you can hear all the different things about the different birds you've played. It'll track like how many of the birds you've actually played throughout the game. There's just so many great things to it.
I don't know. For me, it was easier to learn the game on the physical copy than the digital, because you're like going through the different like levels, and I don't know, like you're switching between.
Did you do the tutorial?
Yeah. No, okay. I played, because I played the physical before I played the digital. But like after playing the physical, like where you could see everything on the table, and then having to switch between the different views on the digital, it was a little bit more jarring. If you've never played it before, I'm sure the tutorial is amazing. But yeah, like if you have played the physical, just know you're gonna have a little bit of a where you have to rethink your mind on how you see the board.
There is a button to pop up where you can see your whole board at once.
Oh, that's true. But then you're not seeing the goals at once.
True. Yeah. there's a little bit of extra things to click on to see everything.
All that matters to me, folks, is that don't let number one, don't let Amanda Panda have blue. Number two, attack.
Who's the bloodthirsty one? Okay, everyone. Chris is bloodthirsty. Come on.
Only
Did
with
you
a good
just hear him?
steak.
He
Only with a
literally
good
said
steak.
attack. Oh my
Okay.
God.
I don't know.
It sounds like we need to move on to the last game.
All right,
before this
Amanda,
turns bloody.
what's your final game?
My final game is a co-op, people. Come on. Co-op.
I'm surprised with the way she plays games against me that it's a cooperative.
Co-op. I love co-op.
Folks,
Well, she did save it for the last
this is
one.
the first.
It wasn't her top.
All right. Oh, okay.
No, it's a Burger Brothers. So back to the original Kickstarter, I tried to play the game. I was like, what am I doing wrong? I couldn't figure it out. It sat in purgatory for like a year or two. And then Tim Bowers came, I met him through Twitter and stuff. And then I was lucky enough to play a game of Burger Brothers with the designer. And then I'm like, what? We did it. Like that. Now I understand the game. That was really cool and easy. And I was like, what? And then now he has Burger Brothers 2. And I was like, oh, and then I tried to play it, totally lost. And so then another streamer invited me on to play it with Tim and him. And I was like, we won again. Like, I cannot win this game without playing with the designer, but I love it so much. And now it is on BGA, and I think it's alpha right now, but it's coming to BGA soon, and it is a good implementation. I think the BGA implementation is a little bit easier because it literally shows you where the guard is going to go, what path it's going to go. And it's like really cool, like clicking. It's really easy. There's either like undo buttons if you don't like show new information and stuff. So I think it's a great implementation, and I'll be playing it more. But yeah, Burger Brothers it's fun. You can stream it. Now you can play it digitally, but streaming it with Tim Bowers was just so much fun. He like gave you little hints, and I was like, I never thought of that. And then you get the strategy and helping, like, do you create an alarm here so that the guard ignores your friend over there and stuff. And it's just a great game. It's a lot of fun. You've never played it before, huh? None of you.
No, I have played. I owned it. Like I kickstarted the original one.
Yeah.
And then it's set in purgatory for me as well. So I actually sold it. And then realized, no, I want that back. And so I bought another copy of it, which I still have that copy of it now. But yeah, like it works so well as a co-op. And once that strategy clicks, it does make a lot more sense, and how it just plays different than a lot of other co-ops right now.
And Burger Brothers 2 has that setup where you open the box and you put these like plastic arms so that now the box is the second level of the thing. So then and it comes out with mats, like player mats and stuff. It's really, really cool.
Solid.
Try it on BGA when it comes out on beta.
Oh, for
I'll have
sure.
to check it out.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
craziness.
As we wrap up tonight's podcast, we've all talked about top 5. So I guess, is there any other favorite things about streaming and playing online that you want to let everyone listening know about, so that they should either go try a certain website to stream some of these games or play the games that you think are the best to use?
Can I say, I've met so many people, and more and more people that stream, like watch board game Twitch streams, or guest on board game Twitch streams from other platforms like YouTube or TikTok. There, like, a lot more people are like getting into Twitch streaming, right? And I say, if you want to get into Twitch streaming or YouTube live streams, just do it. Do it with whatever camera setup you have right now. If you want to do video games or board games, whatever you want, just start with whatever you have. You don't need anything fancy. You don't need fancy overlays or softwares or anything. Just, your camera, even if you use your headphone mics, it's all good. Just get it out there. Just start doing it. The board game Twitch community is so wonderful, so supportive. Anyone will be jumping at a chance to help you if you have any questions and stuff like that. Also, we have such a good Discord community. I mean, Chris, the charity board gamer, has a wonderful, wonderful Discord community. And if you join his Discord, you'll have a lot of support. You'll have a lot of people to play games online with as well. So it's there. It's there for everyone. It's good for anyone, you know, as long as you're not one of the people that are going to be gatekeeping or racist or prejudiced or anything like that. All that can stay home, you know. But I have to say, there has been such love and support from the board game Twitch community. I'm so glad I joined this. And we've been very helpful with each other, helping each other moderate, help each other keep away the bots and the spam and hate and stuff like that. So
yeah,
just do it. Just jump in.
I love that. Just kind of follow your passions, do it, start somewhere, because otherwise you may not ever start. And then of course there's, like you said, there's so many amazing people in the community, and you've talked about Board Game Arena. Are there any other ways you've played online beyond Zoom or in Discord that you feel people should be able to know more about?
Yukata is a great one, which is very similar to Board Game Arena in that it will force the rules, right? Where you have to go with the rules. If you want like more war game-ish or like coin, or there's atx.com, but for like a lot of coin games, I think it's on Vassal. A lot of people designers playtest and put them on there. So Vassal's another one. It's a little bit harder to get into because you have to download the modules and then upload. But I played like Cuba Libre on Vassal, and there's such a big library on Vassal. It's just a little bit harder to get into. But the easiest is Board Game Arena and Yukata. But then I would say, you know, Tabletopia, TTS are awesome places as well. But it's physics driven. So it's going to increase your playtime at least 30 minutes or even double it. So just keep that in mind.
For sure. So I definitely recommend that everyone check out those different sites so they can enjoy more gaming online. If you're still in quarantine or trying to stay safe, as the world is still, of course, in flux with everything going on. But we do need to wrap up the evening. Chris, do we have any last comments before we end tonight?
Well, I mean, of course, the big thing that everybody needs to know is, where can they find you, Amanda Panda?
You can find me everywhere. Just search Panda Angel, all one word, Panda, the number 8. And as in Nancy, GEL. Oh my gosh, I almost put angle instead of angel. It's angel.
Trying to remember your own handle.
I know. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Panda, the number 8. N as in Nancy, GEL. You search that on Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, TikTok even, and you'll find me. I'm the only one. Don't search Pan Angel like spelled correctly, because there's tons of them.
Yeah,
there's a ton of them. But yeah, I am a variety streamer. I also do some board games. I mean, some crafting and board games. I do digital and analog board games, solo and with friends. But I always love it when I have friends on the stream, because it just makes everything so much more fun for me. And I think that for me, board games is definitely a social interaction type of luxury item that we should all, you know, enjoy to our best of our abilities. Like BGA has a lot of free stuff, content. Tabletopia has a lot of free content. Vassal is free, and you know, it's a great hobby to get into, and you don't have to spend that much money either.
No, definitely don't. Well, Amanda, you know, we love you. Thank you for being on with us. Folks, we're going to go ahead and we're going to head out. I'm Chris.
I'm Chelsea.
And I'm Justin. Thank you for joining the Meeples of Joy podcast.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.
What are you doing? You're using the wrong shaker. Oh, hey, Gary. Yeah. No. Shelly took the shaker with her when she left. So I've got my thermos. I'm just kind of using that, and maybe if somebody got the alcohol order right next time. What did you say? Nothing. Yeah, I've got those drinks. I got martini right here for table 62. Got it. Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah, I'll get some. Yeah. Okay. All right. Thanks. Luckily, you don't have to be a bartender to enjoy games like On the Rocks, Kingswood, and Kohaku, all from 25th Century Games. Highly recommend it. Link down below. Oh, and don't forget that 80 rolls of silverware before the end of your shift.
Hey, thanks for watching our video.
If you like what you saw here, go ahead and hit that little like, subscribe, the little bell thingamabobber, you know the thing, and watch some of our videos. Maybe one that's maybe up here, or maybe down there, or over there, or down there. I don't know where they are, but thank you all. Remember, when we can gather at the table, we can do the same for a good cause. Bye.
Bye.